and broadcasting Vis Swoops. And today we come with a special guest. Um, Probably going to be a recurring guest, maybe at some point in time. And infamous, up and coming, talented young man who's actually doing all this on his own accord. The founder and host of the GSL show, Geoffrey, is with us today as well. What's going on, Jeffrey? How you doing?
Hi, it's GSL News now.
GSL News, excuse me. And then,
Yes.
Best Christy, how y'all feeling? Before we get
I'm
into
cool.
what we get into today, man.
I'm cool.
You cooling?
Yeah.
Best, no BMF spoilers, please.
I ain't gonna spoil BMF.
Cause you
Going
know,
on? Why you so late? You 10 minutes late, Swoops. What's going on, man?
I was speeding, so I got pulled over.
Can be speed. You got a ticket?
Nah, no, I took my way out of things.
Oh, yeah, he told. What
Told
he did.
though, no. First of all, I'm
No,
not at all. You know, when you do things for the community, because I also happen to work in a homeless shelter, so that's what I do in my day to day as well. So when you do things for a certain organization and you get a certain pull in the community, you kind of get away with things. So kind of told a little fib and yeah, got out that situation. But I'm never gonna tell on nobody. First of all,
I'm
I'm
trolling. I'm trolling.
I ain't telling. I ain't 6'9". I'm not YSL Woody. Whatever the nigga name is. You heard? I'd have just took my ticket and went home. You feel me? But Chrissy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm kind of nervous about this whole not cursing thing. It's a bad
We can
habit of mine.
listen. We can. I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying we want to just be aware that we don't overdo it.
You hear that, Best?
Yeah, I don't be cursing.
Nah, best favorite word is the
The
B
B word.
word. Yeah, of course. But we'll be fine. We'll be good. Our friends come and listen to what we have to say. So it is what it is. How do we want to start this week? Jeffrey, we got you here, man. Best Christy, how do we gonna start our interview with Jeffrey? Because we do something a little different. First half of the hour we gonna interview Jeffrey. Second half he's gonna be part of the show and covering some of these bizarre topics with us.
Let's just get an introduction on Jeff for the people who don't know who he is, who are not familiar with him. Get a little bit of background about you.
Well, I'm a journalist here based out of Rochester, New York. I built my company here. Started out as a 13-year-old boy riding my bike to festivals and crime scenes. And then I was later discovered by BET and just a lot of other huge platforms who gave me the opportunity to brand myself a little bit better. And so now I'm here, continue to strive. Got some things coming up behind the scenes that I can't even mention right now because it's so secretive, but I can't mention, and I'm not really good with secrets, but there's a lot of huge things that are coming up within the next few days, to be exact, honestly.
So my first question is: when you first started GSL show, what was your initial goal? Like, what did you start it? Because what was your initial goal when you first started GSL show? Basically,
Well, my initial goal was to um, really make it a talk show. So I wanted to make it a talk show. But then I was like, I don't really want to sit in a building all day and just interview people. I want to go out, explore, be news, investigate stuff, and just build a bond with my community and be in the community. And so that's where I discovered I want to be a news reporter. And really, who inspired me, her name is Lynette Adams, who works for Channel 10. She inspired me. This is when she was a street reporter. Someone was shot and killed in front of my home on Thomas Street in Upper Falls, where I used to live, in those brick apartments there.
So Jeffrey, you got to be a little more specific because this is we all our viewers don't know where you're from.
Say it again.
You got to be a little specific when you say these streets because they may not be familiar. You got to let them know where you're from.
So this is in Rochester, New York. So Thomas Street in Upper Falls in Rochester, New York. And I used to live in that area for many, many years. And someone was killed in front of my home, and that's where I seen Lynette Adams pull up. And she was very inspirational. I was asking her questions, stuff like that, and I was like, maybe I can do this. And so then I got an iPhone 5C that Christmas, and then I just took off from there.
So
so
this is all you just doing this off your own accord. No formal training, no studying, none of that, things of that nature. It's just literally just kind of up and going and figuring this out on your own, kind of.
Yeah. And again, I was only in fifth grade. So sixth and fifth grade, you don't really know much.
Yeah.
So my question, a lot of time when people have dreams and stuff, they got goals, especially at that age, they're inspired to do it later on. What made you start right now, like in that moment? A lot of people really want, I want to be this when I grow up, but they don't start to learn
Like
to 18.
that narrative right there is just so overrated. I want to be this when I grow up. You start now. You're doing now. And plus, I didn't have a job. I wasn't working. I had the time and opportunity to do it and then start now. I came right in when Facebook became popular. Facebook wasn't too popular, but it was starting to become popular. And so I came like right at the right time where I was able to build my brand, and just get right in.
And you were like in fifth, sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
What are your parents thinking when you go into all these things, especially like, they kind of got to monitor you at this age a little bit. Like, what do they think? Like, yo,
Yeah.
Geoffrey.
Yeah. I really wasn't a bad kid. So, my mom really didn't care about, she cared about where my whereabouts, but she knew I was getting in trouble. Yes, she was always worried, get home at this time, be safe out there. I'm worried, this, that, third, as a regular mom, what typically do.
Absolutely.
And then, but
I would say absolutely. So you weren't a bad kid. You was at all these scenes. What was the backlash that you kind of received? Like, as I know, it's a certain culture in the city of Rochester, and you've been doing this since you were in fifth, sixth grade, and you're a young man now. Um, what backlash have you received? And what kept you with this mental fortitude to continue doing what you do, even though you're facing this backlash?
Well, a lot of people consider me as a snitch or whatever the case may be because I had a very close relationship with Rochester Police Department, which I have now. And I was getting bullied. I still get bullied, but as a child, I was really getting bullied. I was really getting bullied hard. People, at one point I got set up. And just people wanted to actually kill me at so young. That was the type of backlash I have, and I still have backlash now to this day. Where I'm not allowed to do certain things. I'm not allowed to go certain places, and I think that narrative should definitely be changing because as a news reporter, we have life too, and just people don't understand the full concept of just being a news reporter in general.
Exactly. So, and knowing that you're not necessarily taking a stand on anybody, you're not out there saying names or trying to indict anybody or anything of that nature. You're literally just pulling up to the scene of the crime after these things are already done, and just giving a general summary of the series of events that's following post whatever incident had happened. Correct?
Yeah. So I pretty much cover everything. Not only crime, but that's what a lot of people
know you for.
See.
Yep.
Right. So I cover a lot of at festivals. I'm at everything. I'm interviewing people. I'm out there with politicians. I do a lot of things, but and that's why I tell people too is like you only cover crime. No, it's what you choose to see and it's what gets your attention. A lot of people of course, are going to watch the crime because they're trying to figure out is it their family member, what's going on, is this my neighborhood? So that's what you choose to see. But I cover everything from weather to sports to everything. I'm almost at every sports game. I've covered a lot this year and last year to definitely build my company and make the progress that I want to make.
So what is and Christina, best y'all can jump in whenever y'all ready with some questions. My thing is, what's your overall goal for the GSL News Network?
Well, for the GSL News Network, I definitely I think my goal is to build a huge news company, right? So to the point where I don't have to go to scenes anymore. Right? I don't have to. I can just sit back and just sit in meetings all day and worry about our next investment, worry about what stories we're going to do next, and just write scripts all day. That's my goal.
Okay.
And write books and inspire others and just go around the world letting people know my story and how it became to be me.
So we've seen QC get a lot of a backlash because they sold their catalog to another company. Would you be open to selling the GSL News Network, of course, while still maintaining some part ownership in it? Sell it to a major corporation like a NBC or Viacom or CBS or something like that?
Absolutely not. I think that's just not my alternative goal. I have received opportunities to do so, but I think GSO News It's so much worth more. And I'm never going anywhere. I want people to know that I'm not going anywhere. It's always going to be GSL News. The name may change in the future, but it's always going to be. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to run my company.
So,
I'm not going to take a piece. No, absolutely not.
so like I know, right? Because I've seen people getting the spats back and forth with you about donations and why do you ask for donations. If you take that into account, right, and say you do sell your company, because that's companies are made to be built up and sold at the highest value for whoever wants to pay them. You
Mhm.
do sell it for, you get a $20 million deal with Viacom. You still maintain some ownership. You get a stake in the building. GSO News, that maybe the network may be something a little bit. It may be a little tainted because that they're involved now. But you are who you are. It's nothing like you can't build it up again. It's nothing like you can't build another idea. So
Right.
I will
Well, why
always
should
say,
I?
why should
Why
you?
should I?
Because
Why should I have an idea where I want people to know that I've been shot at. This is blood, sweat, and tears doing this and running this company. So $20 million is not going to make me fold. I just think that's inappropriate.
$20 million is a lot of money, man. Like we
It's
we
also
we
it's
we
a
we,
lot of,
we saying $20 million, but it's like, do
a lot of money.
what you're doing right now? Do you have the access to get $20 million right now?
Absolutely not. But I'm working my way up. Yeah,
So,
and I want
and this is the problem I'm trying to teach you because I've seen you do business.
no.
I've seen you do
But
business. I'm 20 million just a number I'm throwing out there, but I've seen how
hold on.
some of your business tactics work, and I'm just giving you some advice right now.
And I
Like
love your advice, but I want people.
you can't hold on. You don't
Uh,
just throw things to the wayside because at the end of the day, what you can do with the money and the resources that you get behind that money now is different than building an emotional attachment to what you build. We all have emotional attachments to what we build. We all three of us love this show. But if we go into a situation where CBS or Viacom is throwing us $50 million, that's life changing money. It's not about the money, it's about how it can help everybody else now do the things that they all want to do. While we still get to come back to this. So and this is something that our community does. We want to hold on to our business so much, and then we work until we die. We got to understand sometimes we have to build something to let it go so we can create something greater.
well, I want to talk to you about that. I think $20 million is not a deal for me. It will never be a deal for me, not with that type of money. You don't see Fox News, ABC, and et cetera, saying, well, hey, you get this deal for $20 million. I feel like in the next 5 years, I'll probably be making $20 million. And personally, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe the next 5-10 years, I can make $20 million without somebody buying me. We need to learn, especially as Black men and women, how to invest into ourselves. It's just not about emotional attachment. It's about your worth and knowing your worth and knowing your brand worth. And let's stop letting people buy us out. Let's build it up. Nobody seen Apple. Apple had plenty of offers for it to be buying out and bought on out, but they didn't take that opportunity. And now look where they're at. Apple is worth $1 trillion. People wanted to buy out Tesla. Now Tesla's worth billions of dollars.
Okay.
So we really stop letting people trying to buy us out, buy the way out. I think that's in an appropriate way. We need to stop trying to take the lazy way out and really build something for ourselves.
Is it truly lazy? Because again, we all here.
Now,
We're all here as content creators, and I can tell you right now, the hardest thing to do is to get people in our community to buy anything that we do.
And so what's my?
I'm just saying. We talking business right now because I seen you do business tactics, and even when you ask for donations, I see the response that you get.
Right, and so that's where again.
How do you make the 20 million outside of doing business with these large corporations? Because your own community is not going to give you 20 million.
I can't talk about my business tag, but people see on the outside, right? They see me ask for donations, whatever case may be. That's what they see, the business tactics outside, right? But they don't know what investments I have going on the inside. They don't know what other source of income I have, right? People don't have to donate, they don't have to, but people stress, oh my gosh, he's asking for donation. The donations help the company continue to move forward, but that's not a large portion of what we get.
What you said there, Best?
I was going to ask, what does he do with the donation? Because a lot of times people complain, oh, he always asks for
honestly,
money.
But even if I don't, that part, I don't think we want to ask what he do with the donations because we don't ask the Red Cross what they do with their donations, keeping it 100. So my thing is this: it's not about selling out; it's about understanding business. Yes, I sold this business, but now I could create other opportunities. Name one billionaire in this country that didn't sell something that they own in order to get to the next level. Can't name one.
But I feel like it's not my time right now. If somebody offered me $20 million right now, I'm gonna gladly decline. I'm not
You're
gonna
gonna
lie to
gladly
you.
decline and stay in Rochester getting shot at. Does that make sense to you?
You don't know if I'm staying in Rochester.
I'm saying where you are right now. We're not saying if somebody offered you 20 million right now, you're gonna decline and stay in a situation where you cannot move around safely for your own well-being. I don't think that's a smart move.
Absolutely.
You might not see 5 years.
No, let me tell you something. Absolutely, because it's just not about moving and building a company. Journalism is something I've died for.
I do journalism, brother, for a long time.
I love journalism. It's what I do. I love investigations. I love all that stuff, right? So it's not just about the company. It's about what I love in my passion.
So this is the thing I keep trying to teach you to understand. You have to separate Geoffrey and GSL News Network. It's not the same thing. That's a brand.
Right.
So Geoffrey, the person, could always create and do journalism your own way and do what you do, but you can sell this company in order to help you fund building Geoffrey, the brand of you.
Can I speak without getting interrupted, please?
Do your thing, man.
I want to say that, no, I'm not. If somebody offered me $20 million right now, I'm not accepting it. You know why? Because I know my worth is way more. We need to learn our worth.
Right. Your worth is what somebody's willing to pay you, brother.
I keep getting interrupted.
I understand that, but I'm telling you, your worth is what somebody's willing to pay you. You can think you worth whatever you want, but where's somebody willing to pay you?
I'm worth $100 million.
That's your thought. Is somebody willing to give you $100 million right now?
No, absolutely not.
So then you're not worth $100 million, my brother.
How do you know that?
Because nobody's willing to give you that at the table.
But you don't know what my worth. What's your worth? Do you know what your worth is?
My worth, the biggest contract I've ever seen in front of my face was for about $120,000. That was for somebody. That's a contract that I had across from me.
Okay, that's perfect.
So I can say this because I have paperwork to prove so. You saying I'm worth $100 million, but there's no paperwork saying that, Geoffrey, we want to give you $100 million to do what you do. You know how hard it is to get $100 million, bro?
It's very difficult.
You know how hard it is to get 100,000?
Can I stop being interrupted, please? Because I want people to know I may be young but I definitely know about investments. I know how to do things the right way. And especially, I can't say what I want to say because it's a different time now. But I think people just need to let people do business how they want to do business. It's their business. But I'm not accepting $20 million. It's just not happening.
I'm not knocking you for not accepting it. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the alternative side. And I'm also telling you this. You say you do good business, but I've had people come to me and you never had a conversation. And they tell me that maybe I should reach out to you because they see how you post screenshots of conversations that you had, and that's bad for business, and they don't want to do business with you.
Right.
So me and Bess even had this conversation last week, and I was defending you, saying that sometimes you gotta tell somebody to eat a frank, right, because they want you to wear a shirt and saying that's a form of a payment. I don't agree with stuff like that.
So after that incident, some meetings were taking place, and there's a new team behind me. There's a team I built behind me. Right, so there's a new policy that even came out. My website just updated. There's a whole new policy that have updated who manages what and how things are pushed. And again, you wouldn't tell Fox News or even Oprah to wear your shirt and take your shirt next payment. I think people just try to do that because they're from the city or they know or they think they know me or whatever the case may be. But that's just how I run my business. If somebody doesn't like how I run my business, they can gladly just move along. Right? You wouldn't say, "Oh, I don't like this iPhone." Right? Then don't get the iPhone. Right? I don't like when people complain about something and they can try to continue to do the same thing. But after that conversation, that man continued to harass me and tell me, then give me other offers for saying $50. I'm not accepting $50. I'm sorry. That's just how I run my business. I'm not accepting $20 million because I want to build my business how I want to build my business. I want actual real investors to invest into my business. Right? So I understand. I'm tired of getting interrupted. Let me speak here. Also, another thing, too, the screenshots was very inappropriate. I 100% agree with you. The screenshots was very inappropriate at the time. That would never happen again. Running the company by myself was very difficult, but now I have a team behind me. You see where I'm at. I have a team behind me. I continue to do what I do best, and that's cover news in the city of Rochester, New York, and other scouts and other outskirts as well. There's a bunch of things that I'm working on that are coming up in the next coming days where I have plenty of offers that I have accepted. I'm truly blessed for those offers, and people they got to sit back and relax and watch. But I'm not accepting $20 million for something that I built, blood, sweat, and tears for. Just like what Hold on. Steve Jobs built Apple, right? He literally died working for Apple, right? That's what I want to do. I want to die working for GSL News. And people say I want.
Can I just say one thing? Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, bro. He didn't die working for Apple. He got fired. They kicked him out the company.
History. He didn't get fired.
He got kicked out the company. They voted him out. He lost his stake for a while, and then he came back with Pixar and a bunch of other shit. Like because I love the jargon that you're speaking, but when we're talking as entrepreneurs and people in business, it's always I want to do this and I want to die. But people got to also understand there's losses that come with this shit. It's a lot of losses, and a lot of times most businesses fail within the first 5 years because it's really hard to fucking make money. It is. Right, it's not easy.
I've been doing this for 8 years, right? And I've been doing it professionally for the last 4. So I've seen very huge progress, right? I went from having a bicycle, right, to having a car, then having another car, right? I went from having my office in an attic in a basement to now in downtown, right? So I see the progress that's being made, and I'm going to continue to make progress, right? But I want people to know also is when you have 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds who are attacking a 21-year-old, and at times when I was 16 and still had 30 and 40-year-olds attacking me, where's the
Where's the what? What are you asking for?
Where's the accountability at, right? And not only that, where is the motivation, right? When I see people my color, my skin color, right, who do the most harm to me, right? Again, a man is in jail right now for shooting at me, right? And he's black. So we're in the black community where we say, can we motivate each other the most, right? Most rappers are killed in their hometown by black people, right? Their own people that are the same skin color as them. And I don't want to bring any other races in it. We know white people have their issues. We know Asians have their issues. But where is accountability in our community where we can say, we can help and build each other up?
So check this out, right? First and foremost, because that's a jargon that people thought for the black on black crime thing. People commit crimes to people that are most adjacent to them. No matter where you are. White people commit more crimes against white people than black people. Black people commit more crimes against black people than anybody else. Hispanics commit crimes against Hispanics. It's the same thing across the board. I understand where your gripe. I understand where your gripe is coming from. The accountability is this. When you put something on the internet, you put it out there to be critiqued. It don't matter if they're 30 or 40 years old. You put it out there, you have to deal with it. When we do our show and we put clips out there, I have to take whatever comes with it. I had a 6-year-old tell me I'm always saying some dumb shit. I live life almost twice your age, bro. But you think that because I say what I say, it's not respected. That's fine. But you also haven't had enough experiences in the world. But I'm not going to take that from you. I'll have a conversation. I'll laugh. I'll joke. I engage with the audience. Yeah. And I understand that there's going to be people that's 50 that's not going to like what I say. There's going to be people that's 15 that don't like what I say. But it comes with the territory. And that's our target demographic, they look like us. So they're going to be the people with the most to say. Whatever.
So, Jeff, I got a quick question. When I search your name on Facebook, a lot of people feel like you're rude, you have an attitude. Like, how do you feel about all this backlash? They feel like they say you're not as professional as you're supposed to be. And I understand you're a kid, but like, what do you say to that?
I think sometimes my behavior is inappropriate, but those policies have definitely changed, and the way I react to things has also changed. So, some things just irritate me. I'm human, and a lot of things definitely irritate me because I think and I know that I'm not allowed to do certain things how I used to, right? Especially with a fan base of so many followers, at a certain point, it didn't click to me that, hey, you have this many followers, you have to follow a certain standard. So I get that, I get where everybody's coming from. Yeah, of course. But when you're dealing with so much trauma, right? Because I watch people die, right? I have to go to therapy for this stuff. I watch a lot of trauma. I watch people die. I watch a lot of dramatic stuff that the average human does not see. So I want people to know that when you're targeting me, pressuring me, or telling me that I'm not doing this or that, right, it really irritates me because I really love what I do and I really have a passion for it, So it just irritates the crap out of me, when people are telling me I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right. Yeah, of course I'm not going to do everything right? But talking to people behind the scenes, working back and forth, a lot of things has changed over the last week. And I know that there's a lot of things that I failed at, and there's a lot of things that I'm successful at. So, yeah, I do apologize for the people who think the behavior is unprofessional and and just think it's inappropriate all in general, right? That will never happen again. And whatever's out there is out there. I can't take that back. I can only change.
And another backlash that people say you face, you do a lot of clout chasing. They believe they feel like sometimes you might say certain stuff to chase, like just for attention, basically.
Me clout chasing, I run a news business, right? So I gain money for having followers and watching people. But you wouldn't say Vice TV is clout chasing, or you wouldn't say Fox News is clout chasing, because as news reporters, we have to clout chase, right? We have to keep the attention on us to keep our bills paid, to keep our lights on, and that's what we do as journalists, right? But people are so small. Like, a lot of people become small-minded because they're from the same atmosphere that you're from, or you're from the same neighborhood, that they become small-minded and they look at you like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing this, or you're not supposed to be doing that. Of course, I'm a clout chase. I'm a news reporter, right? This is what I want people to watch me every day. I want people to talk about me every day. That's the goal, So that's why when Fox News or other news stations or CNN, they interview people and they know that there's going to be an argument during the interview, that's clout chasing. Absolutely. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do as news reporters. So if you call it clout chasing, I'm absolutely clout chasing. I'm a news reporter. Keep talking about me. I love it. Because you put money in my pockets and you're going to keep me relevant forever.
And understandable. So what, you a broadcaster, bro? That's what it is. You're a journalism. We're journalists as well. We broadcast. We do the same. We do something here. And you want to you want the headlines to grab attention. The difference is, and this is something that I face, Best face, Christine face, other people in this new generation of journalism and broadcasting has faced. We see it with academics all the time. Your brand is too synonymous with your face. It's not enough buffer in between for people to tell the difference.
Right. And so that's where...
And that's where the problems come from.
Right. And I understand that. So there's a lot of things I can't even say on here because there's just so much things that with contracts and stuff. And I'm not allowed to say certain things. I'm not good with secrets. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's a lot of things coming to GSL News, possibly other reporters that are coming up this year. I can't confirm or deny, but there's a lot of things that are coming up to make this company stronger, to build the trust in the community, and try to separate me from GSL News a little bit, right? Because I can't even walk in Walmart and people are like, oh, that's GSL News. I was just at a dinosaur thing with my little sister, and people are like, oh my God, that's GSL News, taking pictures of me, even that I didn't want the pictures. And so I understand, that it's very difficult to separate me from my brand because it's something that I built, and that's what all I'm really known for. So I understand that, yeah.
Any questions, Christine, the best?
So I recently saw you at a show, and it was about mental health for Black people, and I felt like it was a really good show. Now, during your performance, you mentioned a little bit about going through depression. Is that something that you're still currently going through or face?
Right. So sometimes I would have those like little fades or little, things in the inside. Yes, I go through depression, right? Because sometimes I feel like I'm all alone and there's just so many people attacking me. There's just so many things I witness, but trying to cope through those, talking to therapists and talking to people and just doing things, behind the scenes to keep my mental health protected. That's something that's very important to me, my mental health, because I didn't care about my mental health. There would be some days, especially during 2020, when I was working my butt off, where I would literally not eat or sleep and just continue to work. Like, there was a point where I worked 3 days straight and almost no sleep. And so I wasn't caring about my mental health. But once I start caring about my mental health, things got a little bit better. So sometimes I have to learn how to separate work from home and home from work.
I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times we only see what you put on the internet. That's the side people know about you. What's something people don't know about you? What are you into? I don't think people really know who Geoffrey is off camera.
Yeah, so I'm into NASCAR, so I love going to NASCAR, like especially down south, NASCAR races. I love it. I love horse riding.
What's it, the Charlotte one or Daytona 500 kind of guy?
Daytona 500. So I love that stuff there. I love to go out. I definitely love swimming. That's something I love doing. I love swimming. I love going out to the beach. I love construction. I play Minecraft. I have a huge Minecraft server that I run, and it's we build cities. It's like it's like real life. We made a political server where we build stuff, fight stuff, stuff like that. I have a Roblox server that I also run. based out of Rochester, New York. So it's a role play server. So I do a lot of things on my personal time that, I really love enjoying. Stuff like that. I love hiking. I love going hiking, jogging, that just being outdoors in general. I love hunting too. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I'm not really too a big fan of killing animals, it's just something about it, I like it. I love going to the shooting range. I love doing stuff like that. And that's me personally behind the scenes.
And I've been seeing you outside a lot lately. How have the people receptive to being at a concert or something like that? How is it?
Right. So when
they used to see you reporting news. So when they see you outside, like, oh snap, it's Geoffrey Rogers.
Right. Well, I was debating on even coming to that, but I feel like they wanted me to come in and they wanted me to wear GSL. They wanted me to put my brand out there. And so being that I'm not going to be somewhere if I'm not getting anything benefit from it. Right. So I want people to know that when I'm somewhere, I'm benefiting. I'm either making money, I'm getting ready to make money, or I'm put my brand out there. Right. So me going to concerts all the time and stuff like that, not really for me. I'm more of like a soul R&B, like relaxed type situation, but like hype concerts like that, usually might not see me there, but I was there supporting Lil Purple because that's somebody that is a close friend to me. And I was promote my brand, just put my brand out there a little bit. And I want to enjoy myself, I want to enjoy myself, personally, no smoking and drinking, just enjoy myself.
You look to build a relationship with the community because all these people got this to say about you. Like, oh, he's a police officer. Do you look to all right, let me show you I'm not one of them guys. I'm one of y'all. I'm just reporting news.
Right. So building my relationship with the community, sometimes it's difficult, but giving back.
Go ahead.
Right. So giving back to the community is something I really have been striving for. So me and Lil Purple have some things coming up behind the scenes too, where we're giving back to the community. I just did a toy drive in December where I gave food out and toys out and hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards out to family. So building my trust and building my trust in a relationship in the community is something that I'm going to continue to do. And I have a huge trust in the community already, right? So there's a lot of people who won't even talk to other news stations here locally, but they'll only will talk to GSL. So that's the type of relationship I'm going to continue to have and continue to build here in Rochester, New York.
Do you have any regrets?
Absolutely not. I do not have anything. I don't have any regrets for anything I've done ever from when I was a child to now. I don't have any regrets because those things made me stronger in life. They taught me lessons, and they just made me become a better man.
My next question: how you I ain't gonna lie. I remember at one point you said I don't want to say no stations name, but local stations in the town were kind of hate on you. How they give you a respect yet, or is it still they still look at you as competition?
A lot of them do look at me as competition. I mean, I'm cool with a lot of reporters who are out there because most reporters don't even stay in Rochester. They always leave. So, I'm cool with the reporters, but like the station in general, they do look at me as competition. They won't even air some of the stuff I send to them, right? So that is what that is. But I like it, though, because it just motivates me to continue to be stronger and move faster and stories.
It goes back to what when we talked about earlier, just the hypothetical 20. And like I said, that was just a random number I threw out there. They don't want to air your stuff because that they have to pay you. If they pay you, it helps run your business.
Right.
So,
I can't.
So it does. You don't pay. You're not going to see Coca-Cola go get something different Pepsi. It's just not. They're not going to air their stuff. It's just not what happens.
Right.
It's marketing,
exactly.
it's branding, things of that nature.
Right. So in the beginning, when they were plastering me all over, oh, this is a cute little boy. He's out here journalism. I took that and I took advantage of that. I used their followers and I built up reporting out there, reporting even better than faster than that time. So their followers like, he's a little bit faster. Well, let's follow him. And let's unfollow the other station. All of my news stories are not opinionated. So I'm very strict on keeping everything unbiased. And I'm really strict on that because opinions really kill stories, right? So when I interview somebody, I keep my opinions out of it. I just ask them questions that people want to ask them, and that's it. I'm not putting my opinions in there. I'm not throwing my 2 cents in there. I just think it's inappropriate, and that's not real journalism.
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no, because you're independent.
Yes,
So
yes,
because,
correct.
but if you are a if you're journalism like Fox News, for example, who is more right winged with their approach and their philosophy, it is some biasness, and it's some biasness in their approach to telling the story. They're going to tell a story, but it's just biased. Same thing with NBC. They're more on the left wing, so they're going to be a biased approach into telling how the story actually happened. But they're still giving you the same story, but you just more on the who, what, when, where, and why, instead of influencing how they view the situation.
Right, exactly. That's why my brain is strong, and people are like, "Let me go to GSL," because they know I'm not going to blabber and talk all day about this and that and blah blah. I'm going to put the facts out there and what's really happening. I don't got time for opinions. I just feel like that's just so unnecessary. People want to know the story. Like, I remember when I used to watch the news as a little kid, and these news reporters would talk all day about their opinions. I don't like that. Like, give me the story. Like, what's going on? You know?
Another question I got for you is, when you were arrested, I guess, for the vehicle, how do you feel about how the news paint that picture of you? Because we ain't never got this your side of the story for real.
Wow,
Yeah.
you hit me with that question, huh? I was not expecting.
I was letting you slide when you said I was a good kid and I didn't really get in any trouble. I'm like, we all heard that story, but we don't let it slide.
But he never been, like, he did an interview react kind of, but it was more on some comedian stuff. I want to hear like on some protest to how you reacted when they paint that images you or you stole the car and he was trying to like
Yeah.
Run us down what actually happened.
Right. So I don't really want to go into details.
Not too much detail, just the general.
Right. I don't want to go into details on why I did it. I just think it was their opportunity to try to plaster me and try to destroy my character. But I took advantage of that. I really took advantage of that whole situation. You know, I sat back for like 2 weeks. I wasn't gone for a month. I came back maybe 2 weeks, a month later, and I was out there. Boom, back to it. You know, getting back to it. And I took advantage of that. That gave me more followers. Not only more followers, but it gave me opportunities. I lost opportunities, but I gained more than I lost. And so I'm glad that happened. Not glad that it happened, but yeah, I am glad that it happened because I lost more opportunities, but I gained more opportunities. I also gained a lot of respect, right? Because I had 3 lawyers in that whole situation. I had 3 lawyers who literally up and left and were like, Geoffrey's talking too much, right? So I did my own without my lawyer's permission, right? I did my own press conference and said, yes, I did it. This was a horrible decision I did. Will it happen again? Absolutely not. So that's why I'm very respected because I don't got time to play. I don't like our justice system, how we just got to drag it out. No, I said, listen, I did this. This is my fault. This is a decision that I made, a horrible decision. And we move forward with it. And I took advantage of that, and I'm glad that it happened. Because it made me a stronger person. It made me a more respected man. But I think I want people to know that all the news stations who did plaster me all over the internet, right? They all can be sued. I've been talking about lawyers about suing them and etc. Because again, I was only 17, which is illegal in New York State. You can't plaster a child all over the internet like that. So, you know, there's a whole lot of other things I want to say about, you know, I'm not even going to go into detail, but the whole thing was just screwed up because it was just me, you know, because I was a public figure and they trying to kind of basically screw me over a little bit.
So are we going to get a Kia Boys interview?
So with that being said,
please don't get in the car.
No. That was my plan anyway. But I think even I had some police officers call me and were like, that was a great idea. Like I had police officers telling me that was a great idea. It was a brilliant idea, but it's kind of dangerous, right? I can't even go into details about that, but maybe there might be an interview. I mean, it's very easy for me to get an interview, but there's a lot of things happening right now in the town. I want people to know that the FBI is in the town about them. So that's also, the FBI is investigating, and I just don't want to be put in the middle where people think, you know, I set them up or I told on them. That's just not my place. Why would I even tell on them anyway? That's not my place. We already know who you're stealing cars. Everybody know who it is. I mean, there's pictures out, there's videos out, there's cameras everywhere. We already know who's stealing.
If it's a video out there, you got an Instagram page, they're gonna be able to backtrack it to that IP address, brother.
So I mean, we all know who these people are. I just didn't want to be put in the middle of it. People like, oh, he snitchy, he snitched on him, he told on him. I mean,
or just have them all wear Pooh Shiesty masks from the jump. Man, I don't even gotta see your face.
I was thinking about it, you know, but
have them wear the Pooh Shiesty, man.
I think it's still in the works, honestly, maybe I might pull something off. But it'll have to be like a surprise where I can't let people know. I just got to drop it type situation.
So my question for you is, platform wise, are you keeping the GSL show? Are you going to your website full time? Are you still going to use Facebook and YouTube and those things? Or are you trying to like get into a situation where maybe you can get a distribution deal with one of these major companies as well, but still keep your creative control?
Right. So, I work off of all platforms, and that's just what I do. So, yes, I have a website. I have a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. I'm going to continue to throw out those platforms. Maybe somebody might pick me up and say, "Hey, let's get a contract. You can continue to do GSL news, but can we have a little piece of it for this much?" Of course, I would accept that offer. Look, my company's not changing. I'm doing what I love.
That's why I said creative control. Creative control has to be there, but and then instead of the 20, we're talking about 50 now.
I need you to say that question one more time.
So we're talking about distribution, right? So right now, we have this platform, a controversial Best of Swoop show. We do great work with Room Service Radio. Now, Room Service Radio, we do our radio part with them, and as far as the our audio, we still we own our rights and stuff, but they distribute our stuff. But say now Revolt TV wants to come in, maybe a Mass Appeal. This is the hip hop lane, or maybe we get something with Universal. Universal wants to throw $75 million to us, but they want to be able to get our episodes first, and they want to have some exclusive stuff to it, but we still get creative control of how we do our show. Now throw that on you. Are you willing to do something like that?
Right. So they're not buying GSL news.
They're not. No, it's just.
Well, absolutely take that offer. I'm not changing my company, so of course I'm going to.
And that's my biggest thing I was trying to get you to say before. It's not necessarily selling the whole company. It's about you get creative control to do certain things.
What I'm taking it is you're telling somebody to buy me out. I don't like that deal. That's just not happening with me.
No, you should.
Somebody to offer me a contract for me to create content for them. Of course, I'm taking that deal. Of course.
I mean, you would always try to maintain majority ownership, but you're willing to sell maybe 45% to somebody.
That's too much. 45% is way too much. That's a lot of percentage. Maybe they can have like 10%.
But they're still not majority owner. 45% don't matter if you're not the majority owner.
I don't know. That's how
NBA teams do it. NBA teams, the owner owns the majority. May own like 30% of the team, so they're the majority owner. But they actually have a whole group of people that invest in the company.
But honestly, I might accept it. Honestly, I mean, it's not a bad deal. I might accept it.
Trying to tell you, man, what you trying to do, bro? And this is about to tell people, like, people always, I don't want to sell out. I don't want to sell out. It's not selling out. You're realigning your resources because you're doing a lot. And what you want to do is a lot of things. And like I said before, when I heard some of the stuff about you, I always tell people you were a kid. You were what, 20 years old? 21? How old are you, Geoffrey? 21?
Yeah.
You're 21 years old. You've been doing this for about 8 years. I've seen you, and I tell people you're still learning, you're still going through things, and you've only been able to do business for yourself for 3 years without having to have a guardian or a parent sign off on any contract that you did. So you're learning and you're doing things, and I commend you all the time. And I tell people, like, I'm a little older, so I call you a kid. You're a young man, but to me, you're still kind of a kid. You're figuring these things out. So what you're doing, what you're trying to do, I want to commend you on that. Yeah, we had our little spat early in the show, but it's entertainment purposes. Take what you're doing, understand what you're doing, and keep pushing this thing forward. And I just want to give you your flowers for what you're doing right now, because what you're doing is bold. Like, the city of Rochester, people don't understand. I've lived there for about 5 years, so I understand what it's like. It's not what you're doing is considered so out of the box. What Best and Christine does is so out of the box. People can't begin to grasp or understand. You are a broadcaster and a journalist first. A broadcaster and a journalist has nothing to do with snitching at all.
Exactly. That's people always, he's snitching. No, I'm not snitching.
You're reporting the news.
Yeah, literally. And people just don't understand that concept there.
Quick question, Geoffrey. What do you feel like? Why do you feel like the city, like the violence in the city, is so bad? And how you slow it down?
I can answer that one for you, Best, but I'll let Geoffrey get it.
Bro,
opinion on it, because he's kind of like the age bracket.
Because I do real research, right? I've been around here for a long time, so I do the real research. I'm in this. So you know, you were able to go to auntie's and grandma's house, right? You had the structure, you had it's a structure based thing, right? So let me try to see how I'm explaining this. Okay, so remember you used to have the aunties, the grandpas, and all that stuff who would hold it down and all that stuff, but now they're dead and gone, right? So then you have that, right? You have that respect that's also gone, and then you don't have the respect from. I can't remember. It's just a respect thing, honestly.
You feel like the community not disciplined as far as like, I feel like growing up with us, your uncle, it could be your fake uncle, aunt, they could yell at you, they could whoop you. Nowadays, you can't do that with the community.
Right. So discipline thing. It really is a discipline thing in the community. It's a respect thing too. You didn't have drug dealers selling weed by the church and selling weed in front of schools and their children. They wouldn't even sell to children. Now you got kids buying weed from drug dealers and they're walking in the trap houses. It's so disrespectful. It's just it's a lack of respect. It's a lack of authority. And it's a lack of discipline. It's also a lot of politicians who play with people's lives, right? The bail reform is a major problem in some states, right? It's also
it's a major problem in New York State right now because most people doing the shooting is under the age of 18.
Right, and again, that's where it comes from the lack of discipline, the slap on the hand thing, right? You got kids out here stealing cars and not even being plastered all over the news like they did me. I'm jealous. I was in that position where nobody knew I stole the car. And they're going to keep doing it again. Maybe that was a lesson for me. I probably would have did it again if I wasn't plastered all over the news.
That's crazy. So it's funny because this topic of conversation happened. I wish I'd have called you the other night too, Best. You know when the violence and a lot of things went down in Rochester?
Like COVID, after COVID?
The pandemic. Because money is the thing. When everybody had money, I see like one of the homies was like, yo, bro. It was stuff going on still. Because Rochester's Rochester. There's stuff that was happening. But people were getting along a lot more because it was less people that was broke. People was out there buying apes for $150. Apes in Rochester right now, we can go for $15, bro. Like, money was just different. When people get money, when you have money, also you got to remember it's one of the top 50 poorest cities in the country. So when you get money in a certain city and it brings resources to things, people are not worried about survival as much. It's a lot of survival in the city of Rochester. Not the only city in the world like that, not the only city in the country like that. But Rochester's part of that Rust Belt city. A lot of when the factories went down, it hurt the community a lot. And then we just got like one of the biggest sources of income in the city is drugs. It's always been like that for a long time. So now you got these kids out here trying to jump outside on the porch, not ready for it. They getting boomed. Some of them trying to scam. The scammers is not really street dudes, so they getting beat up and caught up in the mix. It's a lot of other stuff that goes on that stats and data can't tell you if you boots on ground, Geoffrey, so you see it. If you lived a certain way, you've seen it. It's just certain things. So best you see it, man. We know nobody wants to be the punk. Nobody wants to come out different. Like Geoffrey gets a lot of flack because you're not like the typical Rochester person. City of Rochester. We're not talking about the suburbs and the little outskirt cities and stuff like that and stuff in that nature. But if you're not from the east side or the west side or the north side or the south side, like you're not the typical person of that. And people that's not that typical, they don't understand it because it's so different of what they understand.
Mm-hmm.
And my next question, what would you do to improve the city, especially for your age bracket?
You're trying to get him on his campaign, Geoffrey for mayor, huh?
I can't comment on that just because, there's just a lot of things that involve my news. I'm not going to comment on what I would do to make the city better or how I can do it. I mean, off camera, I could talk to you, yeah. But what I would do, people would hate me. So I'm not going to sit here and say that. Nah, that's not my place.
So what would you say? Are you more on the left wing or you more on the right wing or you kind of a mixture depending on what it is?
Maybe in a mixture, but I'm not going to sit here and say who I'm registered as. I'm registered as something, but no comment.
I'm registered as independent, so I get told my vote don't count all the time. So it's all right.
If people watch my platform, they know who I am.
As
So
far as
before we go
So go
there,
ahead.
do you outside of what you're doing here, do you ever have any aspirations into going to politics, or maybe just covering politics full time like Barbara Walters or Diane Warwick and things like that nature?
I can't comment.
You would not, you can't comment that you would possibly go into it. Not saying
No.
yes or no or any interest in it.
Nope.
So Geoffrey, again, we know you a lot for covering the news and stuff. Are you into the local movies going on around, the local music, the local restaurants? Like, what are you into as far as that? Like, show
You got
some
a
love to people
38
that-
special interview.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm into a lot of local things, honestly. I like food. I love the food here. There's a lot of local restaurants that I have
Shout out
close
to
relationships.
Bobo's, man. I missed that place.
Man, they always close.
They closed for you. I was always there. They was open. I don't know. I might have had the secret number.
They finally open, huh?
Yeah, man.
Nah, but yeah, I like a lot of local businesses. I like a lot of local artists.
Who Geoffrey listen to that's local? Who in your rotation?
Who do I listen to?
Yeah.
Oh, no comment.
What? You can't come out who you listen to?
Man, we talk about the food, man. Shout out to the foodies in the world. I know Christine's a foodie too. Places to eat in Rochester. If somebody never been there, because even me, I've lived there 5 years, but I still haven't been to many restaurants as I would like to. What would you suggest?
No comment.
You would suggest any places to eat in Rochester?
Off camera, yeah. On camera, no.
Well, you ain't trying to put people on? Like, we talk about tourists.
We're talking about tourism stuff. We're not talking about like giving them clout, like somewhere to eat. Like I always tell people, if they go to Rochester, go to Wegmans and get a sandwich.
No comment because Rochester has a variety of delicious food places.
Oh, hey, he got some contracts somewhere. He not trying to say that.
I have contracts somewhere, so that's why I can't. I can't. It's just, and there's potential. Like I can have a sponsor hit me up and be like, "Yo, advertise my restaurant." So it's just a business thing. It's a business model, and that's why I don't comment on certain things. I don't talk about certain brands. I don't really talk about much brands. I just, because you never know when one of those brands might hit me up and be like, "Yo, we're gonna give you a check for this much. Put a commercial out for us."
I respect it. I get paid.
Exactly. Right. So that's why I changed so much in the last 2 weeks and stuff like that. Running a business better. I'm excited for everything that's coming up. Y'all gonna see though. People gonna be like, "What?" Like, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. This upcoming week is gonna be crazy. The next 2 weeks are gonna be crazy for GSL.
Oh, dope.
So how many times a week you wear a suit?
About some weeks it could be every day. Some weeks it could be every other day. But I usually wear a suit about 3 times a week.
You go get a tailor. You got a place that you like to buy suits from.
You can't.
There's a variety of places I like to shop and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but no comment on.
We're not asking about that part. I'm just saying, like a certain cut that you like your suits and stuff like that.
Yeah, it just depends on what color the suit is, on what event it is. There's suits that I buy suits just because I buy suits. Like there's so many clothes that I haven't worn yet, and so many things I haven't worn yet. I buy it because you never know what comes up. Like this, I almost said something. Never mind.
There we go, man. Geoffrey over here trying to hold back. Listen, we gonna get Geoffrey on here again. So I'm not really worried about it. He's just holding back on this conversation. It's all good though.
A big thing, couple big things coming up in the next week or two. So yeah, you just gotta watch for the next 14 days.
Understandable. This man is a young Stephen A. Smith in the making here. Real good at this.
Somebody might be like, "Oh, he's got this going on. Let me take him up before he got that." People are grimy like that.
I ain't gonna hold you. I love Rochester. I love that city. I learned a lot in that city. Developed a lot, especially as a broadcaster. Like I tell Best, man, y'all can work there, but y'all need to like not live in the city, bro. Like it's just you can't.
I have a question because I'm like Christine drove controversy for this Rochester legend coming. Do you consider yourself Rochester legend? And do you want to be Rochester legend?
Absolutely not.
But I mean, I think you already are.
I don't consider myself as a Rochester celebrity. I just think I'm just a news reporter who just loves covering news and who just has a lot of people watching me. I'm real humble about my position. I don't like to say I'm this or that.
I feel it. Y'all nice as hell. Talk about y'all humble. Listen, I'm cool with things, but that business come across, man. I told bro, man, you I think you handled that again. Going back to that shirt situation, you handled it a lot better than me because I think I told best.
No, behind the scenes, I was listen.
Now listen, I'm saying
That
it
man
would
right there.
it would have been a video out of me punching somebody in the face because like yo, I'd have told boy like yo, real talk,
No,
I'd have threw the Frank and listen. I'm not wearing that shirt, bro. You're not about to like. What is me wearing your shirt doing for me?
right. Like, I mean, not gonna say I'm not gonna do it because that could tarnish me. So I'm not gonna. No, it's just so much.
We talk about general business.
In general business, I mean, anybody who's like says wear my shirt for payment, that's inappropriate. Like, no, there's plans. You can visit my website and see our new policies, see what we are advertising, and check that out. If you don't like it, move on to the next.
Like
I'm not changing my.
If I like what you got and I wear it for free, that's different.
I also don't like how we say, "Oh, let me get a deal." Right? I don't go into Rochester businesses or any business and say, "Let me get a deal." If you're buying a gold chain or going to Walmart, do you go and be like, "Let me get a deal"?
You know, no. You go to Apple? But you know, people be out there going through the self checkout trying to get their own deals.
Hey, listen,
I'm just saying.
You don't go to Apple and be like, "Let me get a deal." And Apple's known for giving no discounts. They don't give 0 discounts. Not at the Apple store. Apple itself don't give no discounts. So you're not going to go to Apple and be like, "Let me get a deal." Like, let me get a deal on this phone. No. You're not going to go to Apple and be like, "Yo, advertise my business, but let me get a deal." No.
Yeah.
I don't businesses. I don't go into businesses and be like, "Can I get a deal?" Because at the end of the day, I don't want nobody going to my business and saying, "Let me get a deal." Everybody deserves their money. Everybody deserves their worth.
I agree. And it's about business. We got 3 minutes left. So literally what I always tell people, and what I said in your defense, because this is the last time we're going to bring this up, and I hope nobody ever brings it up to you again. When you go in, people, if he would have came to you with a plan, like, listen, hey, Geoffrey, you got your stuff on your website, but you're like, listen, Geoffrey, I got $200 because you maybe wear my shirt on your segments for boom, boom.
That was the cost.
So like I said, I didn't know your joint, but like say you could wear this shirt for like 3-4 segments. I'll give you $200. We could work, and then you probably would have been like, listen, because you came to me that way, my price might have been $350, but you came with me with something. I'll work with you.
Absolutely, I would have. But then him calling me mother effer, I'm like, I don't even know you. Why are you calling me all these things? Like, seriously?
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, but people want brand ambassadors for free. That's what it is, and that's not. Yeah. Brand ambassadors get paid. That's a job.
Exactly. And again, where you can find me at is GSLshow.com. I sell merchandise. I do my news. I do everything. So just follow me. Follow me at GSL Show or follow me at GSL News. Actually, I forgot to change the name. The website has not changed. I was staying that for a while. I'm fighting to try to get GSL News changed. There's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff trying to get a website domain and fighting and trying to but we're working on that. But everything else is GSL News. So you can go to gslshow.com/news and find me on there, Geoffrey Rogers with a G, or GSL News on everything.
So what does the GSL stand for?
Geoffrey Show Live.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't changed the name in a long time, but I've changed it from GSL Show to GSL News just to make it more professional. And I'm not a show, so.
Yeah, you're the news. So for sure. Geoffrey, we appreciate having you on here. Best Christine, any last things y'all want to get in there before we get up out of here?
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. I keep doing what y'all do. And send me the link, please. Thank you. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely. What's up, man? All right. This is the Controversial Best of Swoops Show, and I'm here with my co-host, the beautiful and always controversial Christine. Not so controversy today. I ain't gonna lie. Last few episodes, I've been taking over the controversy part.
She started off with the fire, then she just kind of slowed down towards the end.
And the boisterous, slowly maturing, and need more H-words best. And the smooth talking, and always one of the smooth talking greatest podcasts in the world, Vis Swoops. Kind of give myself a little bit of that. Been doing this for a while. But yeah, we about to get out of here. That was a great episode with Geoffrey, and we appreciate him being in there. And I don't hate the kid. I had to challenge him a little bit because of some of the things I see that he do. I think he's phenomenal at what he does. But being someone who's been doing this for a while, just having him understand as well of some of the tools of the trade. Yeah. Anything you two want to say about this interview that we did?
That was cool. A little controversial, you feel me? But it is what it is.
I don't even think it was that controversial. I think it was just
It was a controversial. The funny part was the chaotic. Yeah, let me talk without interrupting.
Yeah, nah. I'm that. Like I said, man, just so y'all know, take this piece of advice with you. You could feel like you're worth the world, but if somebody only want to pay you a penny, that's all you're worth. We out here.